Welcome back to Awaken Your Authentic Self. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Jessica, and today we are walking through a territory most of us try and love to avoid: life's major changes. I'm talking about the kinds that arrive like storms, like sudden plot twists in a movie you didn't ask to see, like the tower in tarot crashing down without warning. This could look like career shifts, breakups, or new love that rewrite your rules, moves across cities or continents, death and the grief that follows, health changes, births, any moment that forces us to reevaluate who we are and what we're doing here. If you are in the thick of it right now, trust you are not alone. This episode is designed as a companion for the road ahead. Part story, part spiritual framework, part practical toolkit, so you can navigate the murky waters with trust and faith, transform irrational fears into superpowers, and understand why this discomfort is here to grow you. Before we get started, let's set a safe, grounded container. If you're able, place one hand on your heart and one in your lower belly. Take a slow inhale through the nose for a count of 4. And a long, gentle exhale through the mouth for a count of 6. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Imagine the exhale rinsing your nervous system, telling your body, we're safe to feel, we're safe to learn. A gentle reminder for this episode: this is spiritual support, not medical or psychological advice. If you are currently in crisis, please seek professional help or contact local emergency resources. Know that you are loved and you deserve support. Today, we're going to explore the anatomy of a tower movement and why it's not a punishment, the positives and the gritty negatives of major changes, a calm water compass for trust faith when visibility is low, a step-by-step process to alchemize irrational fears into your superpowers, and rituals, journaling, somatic tools, and a guided visualization to integrate. Oh, let's not start that again today. In tarot, the tower is the jolt. Structures built on shaky foundations collapse. It's shocking, yes, but it's also a sacred demolition. When the smoke clears, we can finally see what was true all along. And here's the heartening secret. In tarot, after the tower comes the star. This is the card of hope, healing, and quiet, luminous faith. The sequence itself is medicine, destruction, then renewal. In life, a tower moment can look like in your career, the job ends, the role changes, the identity that you wore stops fitting. In love, a breakup or a breakthrough, a relationship going deeper than your old defenses can just handle anymore. Then there's the life cycle of death and loss. A beloved rune passes, a dream dissolves, grief rearranges your inner map. It can also affect your health or your home. Any unexpected diagnosis, a move, or a climate event. The positive side of all of this is that these changes bring about clarity, alignment, and liberation from roles that you outgrew, a deeper intimacy with your soul, and the courage to design a life that actually matches you. The difficult side is shock, grief, fear of the unknown, financial or logistical upheaval, and the vulnerable feeling of not having answers. What falls is anything that cannot support the next evolution of your authenticity. And what's left behind standing is your essence, your values, and your connection to source. Let's talk about what actually happens to our nervous system when life drops us into the unknown. We often beat ourselves up for feeling anxious, frozen, or reactive. You need to stop that because here's the truth. Your body is doing its job. It is scanning for threats because uncertainty can feel like danger. Imagine this. Imagine you're driving on a familiar road. You know all the turns, all the landmarks, and the shortcuts. Suddenly, the road's closed and you are rerouted onto an unmarked dirt path. Your GPS is blank. Your body's immediate response, we're lost. This is unsafe. Even if the dirt road eventually leads to paradise, your system hasn't caught up yet. This is what happens with change. The old roadmap, the job title, the relationship, the financial plan, the identity, it gets shut down and you're navigating blind for a while. That disorientation is why your nervous system spikes. Now, here's the key. You can't always calm the storm, but you can anchor your boat. When you soothe your body, you give your soul the space that it needs to listen for the guidance that it needs to move forward. Here are 3 tools to re-regulate in uncertainty. One is orienting with the senses, slowly scanning your environment. Name 5 things you see, 4 things you feel touching your skin, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you taste. This brings your awareness out of the imagined disaster and back into the present moment. You can do a safe place visualization. Close your eyes. Imagine a place, and it can be real or imagined, but a place where you feel calm and held. It could be your childhood bedroom, a beach, a forest clearing. It really doesn't matter. What's important is that you notice the colors, the sounds, and the textures around you, and you let your body feel the safety. Practice this until your nervous system believes it. Lastly is completion energy. Our bodies often get stuck mid-response, ready to fight or flee, but unable to finish the loop. So any movement, shaking, stomping your feet, pounding a pillow, the desk in front of you, even humming, can release that trapped energy. Animals, they do this naturally. We can learn to do this too. Remember, the body, your body, is not against you. It is a messenger, and it is saying to you, hey, things are different. Show me it's safe to keep moving forward. Every moment you choose presence, you are rewriting your body's story about change. These simple practices, they tell your system we are here now and we can go one step at a time. Now, let's take a moment and sit in the paradox here. Change is both a gift and a grit-filled process. And if you have ever tried to spiritualize away the difficulty, you know it does not work. But on the flip side, if you only focus on the pain, you miss the miracle that's hidden inside. Think about a seed. On the outside, it looks lifeless, small, but in order for it to grow, the seed has to crack itself open in the dark soil. If it had a voice, it might say, oh, I'm breaking apart. I'm losing everything. That is the grit. But from another clearer perspective, the cracking is the only way for the gift of life to emerge. Both realities are true at the same time. In our human lives, the grit shows up as sleepless nights, replaying conversations, or imagining worst-case scenarios, financial pressure, relocation stress, awkward, I don't know who I am anymore moments, friends who don't understand your changes and they just drift away. The physical toll, tension headaches, stomach knots, exhaustion. And then the gift slowly reveals itself. A deeper self-awareness that, oh, I was living half asleep before this, that moment. Relationships that come in that are now rooted in truth and not in convenience. You learn new skills. You find a resilience and a strength in yourself that you could never have imagined. You now have a sharper compass of what you will, and won't tolerate. The key is not to rush to the gift or to try to bypass the grit. They come braided together. Real growth is saying, I can honor my tears while still holding faith that something luminous is growing beneath the soil. So the mantra becomes, this is hard and it's holy. This hurts and it's reshaping me. This is uncomfortable and it's an initiation. When you allow both, you don't just survive change, you emerge more whole. One of the hardest parts of going through major change isn't the change itself. It's actually the in-between space, the liminal space, the murky waters where the old has fallen apart, but the new hasn't fully formed yet. It's like being in the middle of a river at night. You can't see the shore behind you anymore, and you can't quite make out what lies ahead. All you know is that the current is moving you. And let's be honest, those are the moments that test us the most. That's when the mind panics. What if I'm going in circles? What if I drown? What if nothing good is coming? And yet, if you were to zoom out spiritually, this is often where the deepest work is happening, where faith is being forged. Because faith is not built when you can see the entire map. It is built when you are asked to trust one step, one paddle stroke, one breath at a time. So the question becomes, how do we keep ourselves oriented when the water is muddy and the stars are clouded over? I've created something I call the river compass. It's a simple way to remember how to stay rooted, how to inquire with curiosity, how to hold vision even when it feels far away, how to embody small steps, and how to receive the unseen guidance that is always there. I want you to think of it like a spiritual compass you can pull out of your pocket anytime life feels disorienting. So this is an acronym. River is an acronym for root, ground yourself into your body and values, ask what matters most today, practice 2 minutes of long exhale, plus feet on the floor, and name 3 core values out loud. Inquire, get curious, not judgmental. Ask, what is life subtracting and what is it trying to reveal? Journal 1 page without editing it. Vision, even if it's foggy, sketch a little North Star. Ask, if this change were a teacher, what would it want from me in 1 year? Write 3 feeling words that you want to embody. Embody. Take the smallest concrete step aligned with your values and your vision. Micro actions compound. So send the email, drink the water, go take the walk, make the list. And then R is receive. Look for the synchronicities. Support the signs. Let help in, whether it be friends, mentors, community, prayer, angels, guides. Track 3 breadcrumbs per day. Here's a prayer prompt you can try. Source, show me what's mine to carry and what's mine to lay down. Guide my steps and open the doors meant for me. I trust the timing I cannot yet understand. Now, let's talk about something most of us secretly battle during big changes. Fear. Not the healthy kind of fear that stops you from walking down a dark alley at night, but the irrational, looping, often exaggerated fears that pop up when the ground beneath you is shifting. Fear likes to whisper things like, "You'll never recover from this. Everyone will leave you. You're not strong enough. If you try again, you'll only fail." And when you're in the middle of transition, those voices can feel so loud that they drown out your inner wisdom. But here's the shift I want to invite you into. What if fear isn't an enemy to eliminate, but a messenger with misunderstood gifts? What if your irrational fears, when alchemized, could actually become your superpowers? Think about it. The same fear of rejection that once kept you silent, when transmuted, becomes your discernment, your ability to recognize healthy connections. The fear of failure that makes you hesitate could, when reframed, become your resilience, your capacity to try again and again with wisdom. Fear is raw energy. And remember, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed, which means every fear has the potential to be turned into fuel. I'm going to walk you through a process I call alchemy. Alchemy is another acronym, a step-by-step way to listen to your fear, comfort it, and then reshape it into power. This isn't about pretending you're fearless. It's about reclaiming your agency so fear no longer drives the car. Now it rides in the back seat while courage takes the wheel. So first we acknowledge the fear verbatim. Say it out loud. I'm afraid I'll never find another job. Naming the fear reduces its grip on you. Locate it in your body. Do you have a tight chest, a fluttering stomach, buzzing thoughts? Bring a warm palm there. Then you want to comfort the part of you that's scared. Speak as a loving inner parent. I hear you. I won't abandon you. Then honor the wisdom underneath and ask, what are you trying to protect? Often fear guards value, security, love, and belonging. Envision your courageous self responding. Think about this, what would a 5% braver version of you do today? Just 5%. Move the energy around. Shake your hands. Walk for 10 minutes. Hum, stretch your spine, or do a song like dance. Motion metabolizes emotion. And lastly is yield. Yield to aligned action. Send that application. Schedule the therapy consult. Have the conversation. Draw the boundary if that's what's needed. Let me give you some shadow to superpower alchemy examples. Fear of rejection. Superpower, discernment, and self-trust. You learn to choose aligned relationships rather than to chase approval. Fear of failure. Superpower, experimentation. You build resilience and iterate smarter. Fear of abandonment. Superpower, secure attachment to self. You become your own safe harbor, which paradoxically attracts steadier bonds. Fear of visibility, superpower, authentic expression. Your truth becomes medicine for others and a magnet for aligned work. Here is a little mini script that you can use to speak to fear. Hey, fear. Thanks for trying to keep me safe. I'm driving today. You can ride in the back seat now. I'll use your vigilance for good. Sharp eyes, soft heart. We're moving now. Now let's ask, why do these major shakeups happen? Why does life knock us off balance just when we thought we were steady and everything was going according to plan. At the soul level, major changes are never random. They are recalibrations. I want you to think of them like course corrections on a plane. You're headed to your destination, but turbulence or wind shifts your path. The plane has to adjust or you'll end up hundreds of miles off course. Major change is the universe's way of saying, you cannot keep flying this way. You're not aligned with where you're meant to land. Here are, some deeper purposes behind major changes. First is identity evolution. We, as 3D human beings, wear our identities like clothing. Student, employee, partner, caregiver, achiever. But every so often, those clothes stop fitting. Change strips away what's too tight so that we can grow into the next layer of who we're becoming. Breaking ancestral patterns. Some changes come to liberate us from generational cycles of poverty, cycles of being silenced, unhealthy, toxic love dynamics, or even burnout. Your discomfort may actually be the moment your lineage heals. Your purpose could be redirection into Dharma. Maybe you've been pouring energy into something safe, but it's just not soul aligned. So a job ends, a relationship dissolves, a long-term plan fails, and suddenly the door opens to your Dharma, your truest path of service and purpose. Sometimes the purpose is to help you deepen your trust. Sometimes change comes with no clear reward in sight. It's about cultivating faith. Faith is not built when everything is stable. It is built when you are suspended between trapeze bars, trusting that a net or a new bar will suddenly appear. Then there is the reason of acceleration of your growth. If you've been stagnant, life may create conditions that force growth at warp speed. You might resist at first, but later you'll look back and realize that moment launched you into a life you couldn't have accessed or maybe even imagined otherwise. The uncomfortable truth is, growth requires discomfort. Muscles tear before they strengthen. Caterpillars dissolve before they fly. We must shed skin before we expand. So when change enters, try asking instead, what is this here to evolve me into? That one question right there transforms the chaos into a classroom. You stop asking why me and start asking why now? What for? And the answer eventually is always for your growth and for your awakening. So far, we've explored the concepts, the tower, the gifts, the grit, the compass of trust, and the alchemy of fear. But I want to take us just a little bit deeper by bringing these ideas down into real life skin. Because here's the truth. It's one thing to talk about change in a spiritual or theoretical sense. It's another thing entirely to live it out in our careers, our relationships, and our grief journeys. The mind might nod along to wisdom, but the heart often asks, yes, but what does this look like in real life? How does someone like me actually walk through this storm? That's where stories become powerful. Stories remind us that we are not alone. Stories show us that even through the details of our journeys, they may differ. The emotional landscapes are often the same. We've all faced uncertainty in love. We've all stood in front of doors closing in our careers. We've all tasted grief in one form or another. I'm going to share a few vignettes, little soul maps of how people navigate their tower moments. Think of them like lanterns lighting the path. Some of you may resonate with them directly. Others may simply widen your compassion for the variety of human experience. But my hope is that as you listen, You'll hear echoes of your own story and maybe even catch a glimpse of the next chapter that wants to emerge for you. A career tower. Your role ends. First, root, breathe, stabilize, inquire. What part of that job was aligned? What wasn't? Then the vision. Write down 3 feeling words for your next chapter. Creative, respected, abundant. Those 3 work well for me. Then embody. Refresh your resume today. Reach out to 2 people. Finally, receive. Take notice of the conversation that randomly opened up a new door. A love tower. A breakup or a breakthrough. First, make sure to feel the grief all the way. Comfort the part of you that feels abandonment. Next, honor the wisdom gained from the relationship. You want reciprocity and safety. See the vision, a love that feels like home and not like a high. Then embody it. Use therapy, honest talks with friends, a boundary practice. And finally, receive signs of secure love that is already in your life. Then there are grief towers. If a loved one passes, their physical body may no longer be with you, but their energy and spirit always is. Let ritual hold you. Use candles, photos, memories, and stories. You can write a weekly letter to them. Ask them for dreams and signs. They are waiting for ways to speak to you and let you know that they're okay. You may receive visits and synchronicity, a song, a feather, a scent. Remember, there is no timeline on grief. Grief is love with nowhere to go. Make space for both ache and for laughter. So we've talked about the why. We've felt into the grit and the gift. We've explored the compass and the alchemy, but now it's time to get practical. Because when you are in the middle of big life changes, philosophy alone is not always enough. The mind, it might understand, but the body and the spirit need something tangible to hold on to. That is where practices and rituals come in. They are like daily anchors in a stormy sea. They don't stop the waves from rolling, but they remind you that there is something steady beneath the surface. They give your body signals of safety. They give your heart a rhythm to return to, and they remind your soul that you are connected to something larger than the chaos of the moment. And the beautiful thing, rituals, they don't have to be elaborate, and they definitely don't have to be perfect. They are not about performance. They're about presence. Lighting a single candle with intention can be just as powerful as a full moon ceremony. Journaling one page can be just as healing as an hour-long meditation. So I'm going to share some of my favorite practices and rituals for navigating change, ones that engage the body, the mind, and the spirit. You can take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and most importantly, just make them your own. Think of this as your spiritual toolkit, a set of supportive practices that you can reach out for anytime life feels too big, too heavy, or too confusing. These are the small things that build strength, faith, and resilience in the middle of the unknown. There is the somatic trio. That's 1 minute of long exhale breathing, 2 minutes of gentle shaking through the arms and legs. I'm shaking as I say it. And 2 minutes of butterfly hold, hands crossed on upper arms, slow taps, alternating left, then right. Journaling prompts. What is falling away that secretly brings relief? What is this change asking me to become? If I trusted the timing, what one small action would I take today? What superpower is this fear training in me? If you're into tarot, you can use a tarot spread for change. Card 1, what's collapsing that no longer serves. Card 2, the truth revealed. Card 3, my anchor action for the next 7 days. And if you want an optional card 4, your star card, boom, where hope wants to meet me. You can try an altar and candle ritual. Place a candle, a stone, a water in a small bowl. Not all water, but some water. Whisper what you're releasing into the water. Light the candle for what you're calling in and close with gratitude. Or you can just try affirmations. Choose 1 to 3 of these. I can do difficult things with a soft, steady heart. I am guided, protected, and provided for. I trust the next right step will be shown. My fear is a messenger. My courage is the driver. Close your eyes if you feel it's safe to do so. I want you to feel your breath. You are standing on a shoreline at dusk. The sea is choppy. These are the changes in your life. Notice a small, sturdy boat waiting. Step in. The oars are your values, steady and familiar. With each exhale, the waves soften by 2%. Ahead, lightning cracks over a distant tower. Watch as the old bricks fall into the sea. You whisper, "Thank you for what you taught me. I release what is not mine." Then the sky opens and one bright star appears. Its light lands on your heart like a gentle warmth, and you ask, "Show me my next right step." A word or image arrives. I want you to receive it. Place it in your heart. As you glide toward calmer water, invite your fear to sit beside you. Tell it you can rest. I'm listening and I'm leading now. The boat reaches a quiet cove. Step onto the solid ground. Feel the earth. Anchor in this feeling, being safe, clear, and guided. And when you're ready, open your eyes. When you get a chance, you can write down whatever it is that you received. Let's get practical. When things feel uncertain, structure and support are your lifelines. Think of them as scaffolding around building and under renovation. The scaffolding is impermanent. It's just there to hold things steady while you rebuild. Without the scaffolding, the renovation collapses. With scaffolding, transformation is safe, it's steady, and sustainable. The 3 core pillars of scaffolding are safety. This is about nervous system anchors. Ask yourself, what small daily rituals make me feel safe? Maybe it's lighting a candle in the morning, repeating an affirmation, brewing tea, prayer, or journaling before bed. Safety doesn't mean eliminating risk. It means creating consistent touch points that remind your body you are cared for. Second is structure. Structure is giving chaos a container. It could look like weekly check-ins with yourself. What's one priority this week? A morning routine that grounds you before the day's unpredictability. I love starting my day with a walk. It clears up my mind and gets me ready for my day. Using planners, whiteboards, or even sticky notes to organize the next 48 hours. Don't ever overplan though, months ahead, because that can start to feel overwhelming. And make sure to time block for non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are rest, meals, movement, and connection. Remember, a small structure is better than no structure. Then we come to support. We are not designed to walk through change alone. Remember, support can be human or it can be spiritual. The best types of human support are friends who can listen without fixing, mentors, coaches, therapists, or community groups. Ask directly for what you need. Can you sit with me in silence? Or could you help me brainstorm? For spiritual support, there's prayer, meditation, your guides, your angels, your ancestors, and of course, your higher self. Speak your needs out loud. Just saying, "Help me hold this burden," is so powerful. Support also means releasing the myth of self-sufficiency. You are not weak for needing help. You are wise. Even the trees in a forest, they hold each other up underground. Their roots intertwine, sharing nutrients and information. Why should we be any different? So when you're navigating major change, think, where is my scaffolding? Do I have safety rituals? structure to ground me, and support systems in place. If one of those pillars feels shaky, that's your next place to build. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this. The tower is not here to punish you. It is here to free you. And the star, it always follows. You are allowed to be both tender and unstoppable. This week's invitation for you is to choose one somatic tool and practice it daily for 3 minutes. Do the 4-card Tower Star Tarot spread and journal 1 page if you have some cards. Take the 5% brave action that supports your vision. If today served you, share this episode, please, with someone walking through a big change. Your share might be their lighthouse. I'm Jessica, and this is Awaken Your Authentic Self. Thank you for letting me sit here with you in the mystery. Until next time, take a breath, trust your next step, and remember, your authentic self is unshakable, even when the structures shake.